Yeah.
Well, hello there, and good morning, Mr. or Mrs. Lightstruck Kerbal. I don't like to assume things. I try not to assume things. It happens a lot, though. But anyway, good morning, good morning. I hope you're having a fine Saturday. Luke, good morning, sir. Well, good morning for me. I don't always remember the time difference. I think you're in my future. Okay, what do we have going on today? Let's take a peeky. Oh yeah, we have the lunar impactor. What are the plans? E-phone. Research. We have some ongoing research still happening. The Fago launch complex is on. It's just getting started. It'll be done in a month. Alright. What do we have for integration? We have the moonbound gesture. That's almost done. Alright, I just had to refresh. Science, yes. We need some more science. Contract. We do have the lunar impactor contract active. Oh, man. We got 3 days till rollout. Let's launch. I've been thinking about this all night long. We have... Oh, man, I forgot to... Friggity frack, I forgot to get my notebook. Ah, well. Alright. We'll just raw dog this without notes. I've been meaning to put my notebook back on my desk, but the first thing is it's out in my truck. How it ended up out in my truck? Well, the funny story is I took it to work with me, and I was making notes and coming up with topics to talk about and things to remember for the stream. Eck. Oh, of course, it's my wife's hair in my mouth. Why wouldn't it be? And I just never brought it back inside. Alright, so we're gonna... Autopilot settings are all the same. So, let us... But yeah, get your notebook. No one will notice. I don't really feel like walking down 3 flights of stairs and across the parking lot right now. Right after I dropped my wife off, I came home. I don't have socks on. I have my comfy shirt. I have my hoochie daddy shorts on. Nobody needs to see me go outside in this, I promise. What? No. I don't know what that was, but we're not dealing. Nope. We're not starting our day like that, McJeb. why that was done. See, every time I load Kerbal, my staging. The middle fairing, you're right. We must investigate that. You're right. I know I put one on there. Maybe it was a different model? Because this one was integrating. Maybe this one was integrating before we made that change. We'll investigate after this. I would never have noticed that if you hadn't said something. But that is a very valid point. We did go through all the trouble of putting a fairing on there, and it's no longer there. Kerbal likes to play with me. Kerbal messes with my mind. It makes me think I'm going crazy sometimes. Now, this mission should get us a boatload of science. I mean a boatload. Oh, it's waiting. I thought it said stop. I haven't slept much in the past 3 days. Reading is going to be tricky. Staging event coming in now. I have thought about trying to put parachutes on the boosters to reuse them. But again, that's just more weight. Right now, the name of the game is the weight. Everything we do adds weight. And the one thing we don't want is more weight without more thrust to push it. But today, for the agenda for today, is I'd like to complete this contract so that the program is completed and we can take some time. We need to do some experimenting with the upper stage of the Yifan to see if we can't increase the boost on that upper stage without compromising our thrust-to-weight ratio on the launch and circularization stage. If the testing goes well on trying to put an engine plate on the top stage of the Yifan with, I'm thinking we should start off with like 3 engines, but I mean honestly 5 engines would be the best because we want it to be symmetrical. We'll see. We're gonna have to do some testing and see what works. Today's gonna be a lot of testing. Today is an R&D day for sure. Much better. But we do have some ideas. 3 engines is symmetrical. Yeah, you got a point there. 1 in the middle and 1 on each side. The other thing we can do is see if we can't maybe keep the same engine. Now, this is the problem I have that we're going to have to test out. Like, keep the same engine and then put maybe 3 or 4 smaller ones around the outside edge. So we have 1 large thrust and then 3 or 4 smaller ones that are lighter. But then we could have to find out if we can put the fuel required in for the smaller engines and how much weight that would all add and everything like that. Equilateral triangle. We will definitely test it. There's a whole bunch of different configurations that I'd like to try. Just like I thought about it, we could always try a 6 booster setup instead of a 4 booster setup, or even keep the same 4 boosters that we have on the lifting stage, and maybe add on a four SRBs to it. But the thing is the SRBs that we have only last for about 1 minute and 15 seconds. So if we ended up doing that, we're only going to get a minute worth of a minute and a quarter worth of thrust. So we'd have to find out if that's enough to make the difference that we want to make. Alright. We have a good delta V number. Our electricity is increasing. Something's going on with our electric charge. Oh, there it goes. Perpetual. I think it was the solar angle. I think that's what it is the solar angle. Alright. We know the drill here. Set as target. Shut up, Ascent Guidance. Nobody asked you. Rendezvous planner. Intercept with a home and transfer. 3146. So it's pretty consistent. Because we've done this intercept a bunch of times now. Oh, this one isn't. This one. Whoops. Why did I do that? Rendezvous planner. Remove all nodes. This is. Why are all of a sudden. Why all of a sudden, it's 20 kilometers. What's the deal here? Something's not right. Oh, that works. No it doesn't. What is happening here? This is an interesting development. We haven't had this problem yet. Yeah, good thing we have some superior navigating skills here. I suppose we can do that. This is an impact mission, correct? Yes, it is an impact mission. We can do this for right now. I don't know why I deleted that. It's okay. We can always... what am I trying to say here? We can always, do a mid-course correction to fix that. Shouldn't be a problem. Keyword there, shouldn't be. Man, I need to scrub my face. I have so much dead skin on my forehead. Not that you guys wanted to hear that or needed to. Oh. Stayed up watching Game of Thrones? There is indeed worse things to do, Tweaky. Good morning, good morning. I stayed up working. Watching Neebs Gaming. I spent a lot of time watching Neebs Gaming last night at work. They just put out their abiotic factor supercut not too long ago. You've never seen Game of Thrones? It has its moments. There's a lot of stuff in the show that I was like, why would you even do that? And then the last season was pretty much trash, in my opinion. I was not a big fan of the final season. Yeah, that's what I mean. It has its moments where I'm like, oh, that was so cool, and there was a bunch of the storylines that I was really excited for and everything like that. Like, it got me. And then I just think, honestly, the last season, I feel like they just had to scramble for trying to tie up all the loose ends. Yeah, it's not a bad show. Whenever someone asks me, like, hey, do you think I should watch it? Yeah, I mean, you can. You should. If you're curious, watch it. Right now, the next shows on my list are Sandman and Yellowstone. I've been wanting to watch those. I just haven't had much time to watch new shows. Yeah, that's what I mean. Is like they lean every time you turn around, it's like, oh no, someone important's died. They leaned really heavily into that trope a little bit too much in my opinion on that one. It's still a good show. It reminds me of a D&D campaign that kind of went off the rails. The most I know of it is the director got angry as one of the cast had left a Nokia 5220 phone on the table during a shoot. And there's a lot of scenes like that where they left Starbucks, and I think there's Gatorade, soda bottles. Like, whenever you're doing a huge production like that, there's always the chance for that kind of stuff to happen. Yeah, my opinion, I think the whole arc, the whole Ned. So the biggest issue I have with a lot of modern shows, Game of Thrones is top of the list here. Is there's so many things that they do in the story that you find out later are just not in the characters. What do you call it? It's not what the characters would have done. Like, I don't feel like Ned Stark would have agreed to go to King's Landing in the first place. Like, he didn't want any part of it. And yet, he agreed to go. And then, as you learn about the character more and more, you kind of get the feeling that there's like 5-10 different times where you think Ned would have been like, yep, I'm out. I'm getting my family out. Good morning, Jiski. Welcome in. Don't forget, guys, if you're dropping in for the very first time, do me a solid favor and hit the thumbs up button for me. We've been destroying the metrics. YouTube sent me a message last night saying, hey, your metrics are doing better than normal. And that's all thanks to you guys. I have nothing to do with that. 1.4 science credits so far. So science. What is the problem here? Why are we not... What's the issue here? What kind of malfunction are we having? Oh my goodness. I don't know if it's me messing this up or McJeb. What is the problem here, McJeb? I want you to hit the moon. Why are we having an issue with this? Let's see. Well, that's not doing what I thought it was. This one, maybe? What the biscuits is happening here? We can't maneuver this? Alright, hold on a second. Hold on a second. Let's try this. What is the problem? There we go. That's all we need. Okay. I don't know what is going on with this. Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. So what I'm trying to get at, though, Tweaky, is that I feel like once you get to know the characters, the Lannisters trying to kill Bran is completely in character for them. But Ned was a headstrong. He was tactical. I mean, he was smart. And I have a hard time believing that after everything that was going on and how everything played out, that he would have just been like, yep, I'm gonna stay here. I think right after homeboy died, the king, I forget, King Robert, as soon as Robert died, Ned would have bounced out immediately. He wouldn't have waited. He would have had his goal, his entire thing would have been to keep his family safe. The only reason he was in King's Landing was for Robert. As soon as Robert died, he would have dipped out back to the north. 100%. Oh, okay, that's why that's happening. We lost our liquid fluorine. That's alright, we have plenty of Delta V in our nitrous oxide tanks. Whoops, this one. Now, we're not getting as much science as I was hoping for. I mean, we're getting it, though. We gotta remember to keep that time warp under control. don't think that's going to hurt us. I'm just boosting our speed up a little bit. We have the nitrous. We have so much extra nitrous, there's really no reason not to. Okay, we're getting a good chunk of science out of it now. I think after I'm done with Game of Thrones, I might watch Knights of the Seven Kingdom. I haven't heard anything good or bad about it. I have heard nothing about it. I was trying the Starship expansion mod. How did it go? Tell me about it. Is it a parts mod? Is that what that is? Alright, so... yeah, I downloaded the pre-built ship and people share and tried to land boosters. That's cool. See, I thought it would be really cool for a multiplayer idea where you do the launch. Like, let's say you have 2 people playing and person A is in charge of the whole craft. Like, he's the main pilot. And when you do booster separation, person B gets to be in charge of landing the booster. And then person A continues with the main craft. I thought that would be pretty fun. Damn, I focused on my game for 30 minutes and you're landing on the moon. We are... Yes. You are correct. Landing. That's what we're doing. We're landing. Aggressively landing. We need this. It's going to be a very aggressive landing. I really want to see what science we're doing. We're transmitting a good chunk of that science, so that is happy days. It does kind of look like we're going to be landing on high spots, which is a little concerning considering we have to be below a certain altitude. Yeah, because like I said, the only part of KSP multiplayer that I couldn't try, you know how we do things as gamers, we backseat dev all the time, like, oh, you should have done this and could have done that. Multiplayer KSP would work in every way except time warping. If the time warping is the only part of KSP that I couldn't really figure out an obvious solution for. I don't know why the lights are on. There's no lights to be on. Must have been a McJeb thing, unless I pushed a button. Oh, no, I pushed buttons. Okay, that explains that. I was pushing buttons. But I would love a game with physics like KSP and a PvP environment. I think that would be a ton of fun. below 3,500. All we have to do is impact with battery. Come on. It's our final science count. 16.8 credits. Oh, dude, we did manage to squeeze ourselves into a low-lying area. And aggressive landing. Contract completed. I love seeing that. All right, contract completed. So, other than sending something into orbit, I do believe that's all the contracts for this program. First lunar orbiter. So that should finish out this contract. Let's see. I might just finish out this. I mean, we're almost to the peak funding, which is 122,000. I mean, we're doing okay. We're not doing great, but we're doing okay. You know what? We'll do that one. We're doing a lot of... the reason I'm doing this is we are doing a lot of orbital rocket engine research. So that'll help us out. I don't think we're using any hydrolax engines. Okie day. Let's see. Oh, I learned something. Hold on. I learned something. We have to go check something out. I learned something. No. The next thing has to be orbit capable. And unfortunately, with the fact that our liquid fluorine boils... cancel. How do I get into that? Okay, alright. That's not what I was hoping it would be. Okay, it's not in there. What the frickety frack? Is it this? Ah, it's this. Okay. Is it this one? Is it this one? No. Where was that setting? I thought it was in the Kerbalism settings. Where would it be? Where would it be? You're gonna make me go through all of them, aren't you? You're gonna make me go through all of them. RP1 maybe? No. Is there one for Kerbal alarm clock? Basic, advanced, click-through blocker, contract configure, editor, hanger, Kerbal constructs. I don't think it's in here. Maybe it is. Hold on. What I'm looking for is I seen someone... someone they had the thing where it stops time warp for it stops time warp. Oh, right here. Right there. That was it. Alright, so now we shouldn't stop time warp anymore. Oh, another storyline I didn't like personally was the faith militants. It was the to make it to where the stupid battery notification stopped showing. Oh, see, it didn't work. Frickety frack. Oh well, I guess we'll deal with it. I want that battery notification to stopping my time warping. All right. Read no staff. Okay. That's a little bit more. That's a little bit more better. See, this is the part that I'm not enjoying about. So I thought about this a lot last night, and the only part about RP1 that I'm not actually enjoying is the contracts. I love how they did it, but what they should have done instead of this way is they should have had the programs and contracts exactly how it is, but they should have private contracts that you can take, or military and private contracts, so that way it's like, oh, I'm a little bit low on money. I can go accept this contract to put a TV satellite, or a GPS satellite, or a defense satellite, or a spy satellite. And you should be able to accept separate contracts outside of the program to help make more money. Yeah, you're not wrong, Lightning. It's just really annoying that you're sitting here trying to do a little bit of time warping to get to an event, and it's like, oh yeah, battery ran out. Battery ran out. Like, we have the satellites run out of battery when they go into the dark side, and it's like, I know it's running out of battery. It's supposed to run out of battery right now. All right, so keep in mind this is our goal. Is this F1 engine. This is the engine we really need. The Gemini heat shield. That would be pretty helpful, because I'm kind of questioning how much the I'm wondering how much punishment the redstone heat shields can actually take. Whoops. Or these two heat shields. I'm kind of wondering how much these can take. But I'm going to be a little bit redonkulous. I really want to secure the F1 engine. What does the engine do? The F1 engine is the engine that they used for the not the Atlas V, the Saturn V. It's one of the most powerful engines that was ever built to this day. To this day! What program has the space station contracts? We can go take a look and find out for you. But before that, I am nervous about doing that because we don't need it yet. That's 45. That's 30. We don't have enough for that anyway. Hydrolax engines. That's 40. SC-19. I mean, we don't really need a whole lot. I don't think we need a whole lot from that stage. I'm gonna do that. That would be super beneficial to have. So we're gonna put that on there. The Saturn V, yeah, the Saturn V had the F1 and the J2, as well as the. No, I think that's it. The F1 and the J2. But just to make sure I'm not wrong, because I do sometimes get things wrong. The Saturn V was a super heavy lift vehicle which used NASA's Apollo and Skylab programs, powered by 3 stages of highly effective liquid fuel. The first stage was the Rocketdyne F1 engine of a thrust of 1.522 million pounds per engine, 7.61 pounds total, liquid oxygen, and RP1, a highly refined kerosene turbopump. Each engine featured a 55,000 horsepower turbopump that moved 15 metric tons of fuel and oxidizer per second, with a burn time of approximately 150 seconds. The upper stage. The second stage uses the Rocketdyne J2. The S2 stage was powered by 5 J2 engines, which were the first large-scale liquid hydrogen engines built in the United States. The third stage used Rocketdyne J2. The Saturn IVB stage was powered by a single restartable J2 engine, identical to those used in the second stage. It was used to fire the spacecraft into Earth orbit and subsequently perform the translunar injection burn to send Apollo astronauts to the moon. So I'm wondering, do we have... Oh, that's... we have to have the J2 engines, I would imagine. We have the E1 engine. We have the G series, which we're already using. We use the H1 engine as well. That's the F1. Hold on a second. Let's go take a peek. Engines. There's the E1. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, J2. It does not look like we have the J2. That's weird. The J47 and the Juno. That's interesting. All right. Let's go try some stuff real quick. I just am so curious to know. So we're going to open up all right. So in this configuration, we have 14,316 meters per second of thrust. So the question becomes, if I do something as silly, no, Not what I wanted to do. Give me the decoupler. Oh my goodness. This is gonna make it. Okay. You're gonna make it difficult. I get it. I get it. Come on. What is happening here? Okay. You want to play hardball? I'm game. I'll just reload you from scratch. How you like me now? Okay. Now we'll take that off. And we'll take that off. Take those off. Alright. Now we have a bit of a mess, but that's okay. Okay. Show. This is going to be a mess to configure. There's never good places to put stuff. Alright, so all the decouplers are now removed from symmetry. So let's determine the fall pattern, the stage pattern. So, do that. So let's make this one. And this one. Let's make these two our final stages. So now we have to do this pretty carefully. So this this to this, this to this, right, yep, and then this one to this one, and this one to this one, yep. Alright. I just wanted to see what this would do for our delta V. Did you want to change the type of science you were studying? Maybe. Check the 1962 era tech tree. Got it. What's your test flight data on the boosters? We have pretty good data. We should have pretty good data anyway. Let's see. I always forget how to actually see. Actually, I don't think we have data on the... We should. I thought. Maybe we don't. We have no data. No data on the E1. I thought we did, but we don't. Alright, staging. Alright, so boosters. All boosters fire. It gives us 1.38 thrust to weight ratio, which for the amount of money we're spending is not the greatest, because I was hoping this would boost our payload size, and it really doesn't. So it's kind of like, is there any point in putting this on? I mean, it does give us... Let's do the staging up and see what it looks like. Alright, so... Wait a minute. Yeah, so... Alright, so add a stage. So this one and this one, those two drop. Then this one and this one drop, and then that one and that one drop. What's science? Whoops, I wanna, yeah, we do need to update the science. Configure experiments. I want to take out the TV camera, and I want to put in an infrared radiometer. So let's start checking our weights. Apply and preserve those dimensions. Okay. That's 65 tons. Apply and preserve those dimensions. And then the whole thing is 1 million tons. So, what was the number? 1.1 million. So let's do 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Oh wait, that's too many zeros. Apply and preserve dimensions. 300. I don't think we can. Yeah, that new launch complex is going to take forever. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't know why it keeps messing with my electricity amount. I really wish it would stop messing with my electricity amount. I don't even remember what I had in there now. It was like 400 or 500 maybe. 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sure, why not? Alright. I just want to see what it does. This is already a failed experiment. I don't like not having McJeb out, but he always gets in the way. PBG settings, let's just stick with that orbit. Because the reason this is a failed experiment, really, is because we're not getting any more delta V out of it. There's no extra delta V coming from this experiment. I'm just kind of wanting to see this monster blast off. Well, that was a glitch. So this configuration is not going to happen. We're not getting any significant increase in thrust to weight ratio or delta V doing this. Okay, how did we lose avionics? Oh, because we don't have any batteries anymore. Yeah. It was a fun thought experiment. That's all it was. Why does this shit keep coming up? Oh, because I clicked the wrong thing, didn't I? Alright, yeah, we're not doing that. That's 1,000, not 1 million. No, that's a mass of 1 million. Oh no, it is 1,000. Huh, aren't my cheeks red? 1,100. And let's do 700 kilojoules. Yeah, we're not seeing a significant increase in this. You were right. You were right, Jiski. I was reading the decimal as a comma. Keep in mind, I've had 3 hours of sleep since since Tuesday. All right. I think it would need, if we were to do this, it would definitely need a bigger launch pad, or a launch tower. This is just for fun, because I thought about doing this last night, and I'm like, what would happen if we just added 2 more boosters? Unfortunately, nothing significant. Although I do like that configuration right there. That's kind of a cool configuration. Yeah, now we're seeing the same problem as before where McJeb can't control it because it's so off balance. Alright. It was fun to think about, though. All right. So the next thing we have to do, let's just reopen up our working. So, whoops, this button. All right, so for this to work, oh, come on, don't screw with me. We probably have to put this here. Take this off, take that off. Where were the engine plates? Were they with the fuel tanks? I don't think so. Engines. Structural. Where were the engine plates at? Oh. Surely not under payload. Under payload. Who? Wow. Wouldn't have guessed. Alright. Yeah, see, this is the problem that I had with this. Is there a way to... what is this? The G1 engine. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Where's my G1 engine? And see, at this point, we're not even getting any more thrust out, or we're not getting anything else. So that's a 0.65 at 4926. So 0.65 at 4925. 0.65 at 4925. I mean, it does raise the thrust-to-weight ratio up substantially. A 1 million ton rocket. Oh, dude. You would feel that rocket launch everywhere in the world at once. I don't think that's enough of an increase in power to try to mess with it. Because if we were to put the Mercury capsule on this, mind you, I think we already did that experiment though. mean, it doesn't really change it a whole lot. I mean, it's not the full thing, obviously. $43.37. It does drop at like 300 meters per second. The other thing is... Oh no, we can't. We don't have the engine unlocked yet. So yeah. Oh yeah, you're right. How do you switch it to just vacuum? There's nothing that just says vacuum. I don't know what this is. 1.1M? 8M? Yeah, I'm not sure. There might be a way to do it. This doesn't change anything. I don't know what this bar is right here. I can clearly see what this one is. I don't know. Set that back to 0 for now. I'm used to seeing it that way. Alright. Let's just take a shortcut here. Don't save. Alright. Oh my goodness. Why does it turn it off? I didn't ask you to turn off my Delta V stats. Alright. So, we really don't have much thrust to weight to play with here. I don't know. I have to rethink my idea. Big M is Mach. Oh, that makes sense. I'm brain dead right now. Research. So that's 1964. You know what we're gonna do? I'm gonna do this. And, God, battery shit, this is annoying. This is so fucking annoying. I hate this. This battery alert needs to go away. Let's see. Double check all of our staging options. That's good. Gotta do this because I can't have McJeb on the ascent guidance. We'll leave just the ascent guidance going for now. We need to monitor the battery power. Alright. This one... Yeah, that's all right. That's all right. Engage. All right. first flight. But since we did so much simulating, we already know that this should work perfectly. It should work perfectly. So what's going to happen is it's all going to work perfectly. We're going to finish this contract out, which finishes our, I never accepted the freaking contract. Yeah, I did. Oh, gave myself a heart attack. Oh, my poor little heart can't take that kind of excitement. It looks like we have a few lurkers in the background, so let's... If you're coming in for the very first time, welcome to Kerbal SPace Program RP1 RO and RSS. We are currently playing in the year 1964. If you're coming in for the very first time, make sure you do hit that thumbs up button to save the solar bears. The solar bears are an endangered species of solar animal, and they're endangered by the ever-increasing amount of space trash that gets left in the solar system every year from irresponsible rocket companies, just leaving debris all over the place. We are tipped down far too far for my comfort. What, McJeb, why are we doing this? Nobody saw that. While trying to make a part on the internal view work. Nobody saw nothing. Yeah, we pulled 10 Gs. I'm just getting really frustrated because if I remember right, yesterday we simulated this thing to the high heavens and it was working perfectly. So why all of a sudden McJeb decides to try to do an in-atmosphere orbit, I don't understand. I don't understand. It would be really nice if all I needed to do was lock heading, because all I need to do is lock on 90 degrees. That's all I want. I can handle the rest of it pretty easily, but... Yeah, it would help. It would really help. It's just frustrating because this worked just fine in every simulation we did yesterday. And my keyboard is so damn sensitive that you tap the button and it's like, oh, you want to turn right? You mean you want to turn 90 degrees right now? And it's like, no, just tip it. Just tippy tap it. See, McJeb, not this hard. Really not. Not the most efficient launch profile ever, but better than the McJeb one. Ah, shit. See, my keyboard is so sensitive. My keyboard is so damn sensitive, it's not even funny. Alright. Let's give McJeb one more try. Oh no, we don't want that. We want that. Yeah. I love my keyboard because it does give very instantaneous response. But if you even breathe on the keys, it's like, oh, you want to go? Where's the limit max Q? Limit max Q. Keep throttle over 5%. Yes. The limit Q isn't even checked, so that shouldn't be a problem. Auto deploy antennas and solar panels. Doesn't kill. Okay. It should. I don't know enough to change this though, because I think this is the settings that's messing me up on this ascent. Because I'm pretty sure it's trying to limit the G's in max Q. But I don't know enough about these numbers to change anything and feel confident that I'm not screwing it up. I don't think we need these open. Let's just give McJeb a second try. And just to answer the burning question on everybody's mind, no, I don't feel bad about using reverts. This is a learning experience for everybody here. Just add one more zero. I mean, it makes sense. So the thing is Jisky, I'm not actually like super number smart. I'm a combat engineer. A combat engineer, we were trained not to worry so much about the numbers. You just try something. You just do it. You know, we have an equation when I was in explosive ordnance school where when they talk about demolitions, it's literally in the book. It says P equals plenty. So anytime in the equation where you see P, it's just plenty. So use a lot. And that's how we were taught. And see, this is a ridiculous turn radius, so it's gonna go horizontal again before we even get to 20K. And I don't understand why. Because we're not even going that fast. Legitimately, 400 meters per second is not that's not the fastest we've ever gone at this altitude. Yeah. Now we're screwed. Oh my goodness, this is not how I imagined this day going, and I have not had enough sleep to deal with this bullshit, McJeb. Oh look, you're below the horizon now. Why? Every time I start getting good footing in this game, this stupid shit happens. Let's say 3,000. See if that does anything. the part that makes me so angry is that we simulate this, everything works just fine. McJeb does his job. It flies perfect. Everything's kosher. And then the second it's on the launch pad, McJeb's like, oh, you want me to screw it up now? It's like, dude, just fly the fucking craft the same way you did in the simulation. Look at the autopilot status line. Autopilot status burning. It's not giving me any information that I know how to read. I don't know what Z norm is. I'm assuming that's the plane of travel. I just don't understand why McJeb is burning horizontal. Oh my God. My head is starting to hurt. I don't understand why. Yeah, and the problem with using the classic ascent profile is I really don't understand how to use it. The part that's so infuriating, that pisses me the fuck off, is that we built this thing because it worked in simulation. We spent the money, we spent the time, we built it because the simulation was good. If the simulation wasn't good, I would have kept tweaking it. So what the hell is the point in having simulation if McJeb is just going to not work? That would actually be pretty cool. Yeah, but I don't... Ram, I understand it, Ram, but I don't know how to change it. Because everything in the settings is the same as we've always used. It's not even supposed to be doing the gravity roll until... I mean, it's always... I don't know how to... I don't know what to do to change anything. I don't understand why it works in simulation, and sometimes it works and sometimes it don't. I just don't understand. Because yesterday we spent quite a bit of time on this design. The only reason we pushed it into production... Why? Whatever. Why would you immediately stage? Yeah, the only reason that would actually be a really good idea, Lightning. I like that idea. The only reason we pushed this into production and time warped our time away and wasted our damn money is the idea that it all worked in simulation. Everything that we did here worked in simulation. Now, I understand that there's a little bit of a difference between the simulation and the real world. The performance is a little bit different. You're going to get different numbers. I accept all that. But the idea that McJeb can't fly this thing outside of a simulation is so ridiculous, because how the hell are you supposed... You can't build a rocket in simulation mode and tweak it and get it all right and then put it on the launch pad for, you know, thousands and thousands of dollars, and it took months and months. It took us, what, a whole year to build the launch complex and then 6 months to build the rocket, on the idea that it was going to be able to do the mission by clicking this button and clicking this button, and it's supposed to go. Now, like I said, I'm totally okay with, you know, variables. You know, it's going to be a little bit different between the simulation and the actual launch, and we've seen those things happen before, and I'm totally okay with it. I enjoy that part. It adds a little bit of spice to life. But McJeb isn't flying this craft the way he flew it in the simulation. In the simulation, we got to orbit no problem. If it doesn't work this time, I'm just going to reload back to before we wasted all of our money and time on it. And I don't feel bad. Like I said, I am not a master RP1 player, guys. If you come into the stream, I will share all of the things that I've learned with you, but please do not for 1 second think that I am some kind of authority inside RP1. This is a complete learning experience for me. And this is really my first experience with McJeb, really. And see, it's already tipping over too far. I don't know how to change the flight angle. You know what? I actually... I see something. I just had this idea. This is not the numbers we used. Maybe McJeb is having a hard time with the low apogee and the low perigee. Maybe. Did we learn something? Let's find out. Because I think in all the simulations we were using 400 to 500 kilometers as our target, which would drastically affect the flight angle, I think. Let's see if we learned something, ladies and gentlemen. Lady and gentlemen. Only 0.01, so fun fact, only 0.1% of all of our viewers are female. 0.1%. And if you are the female, if the lurker in the crowd, by the way, if you're lurking and don't want to chat, that's perfectly okay. I'm a lurker when I watch content too. But if you're lurking because you're female and don't want to, you know, get involved, please feel free to get involved. Don't be scared. Most of us bite, but only when we're having fun. And Bridgie's not here. And we don't have Valentina, so I think that's why Bridgie doesn't come around very often anymore, is because Val's not on the team. And it's not looking like it's changing anything. We're still tipping over so way too fast. Understand. What in this is flight angle? Like we have so much delta V. Why are we horizontal right now? What is going on in McJeb's fucking head? Don't understand what settings. I don't know. I don't know. Let's see. This one, maybe? I can't remember which one it was. Alright. Nope. Not this one. Oh, come on. I don't remember which one I clicked. Let's try this one. What time is it? 11:15. All right. All right. Let's Let's go into the VAB. Maybe this is the issue? I don't know. Turn that shit off. So stupid. This looks so stupid. Shit. Alright, hold on. I don't know, Luke. Honestly, bub, I wish I had some kind of answer for the problem, but I honestly have no clue whatsoever. The only thing I can think is maybe the aerodynamics is too high up. That's the only thing that I can think of that makes any kind of sense. But even that, the thing is, if that was the problem, why was it not a problem before? That's my big question. If it wasn't a problem, why is it a problem now? Because that's the part that's confusing me is we did all this stuff yesterday, and I feel like I'm getting frustrated because it was like, oh yeah, hours of work. Hours and hours of work that we did yesterday. Completely pointless today. And now we have to start back over again. Remember what that was at. Okay. So before we make any more changes, let's see what the simulation says. Use decouplers, not separators. I don't have any separators. We're not using any separators. We have the hollow inner stage truss, which is a separator. And then we have the fairing separator up here. But that's not the problem we're having. The problem we're having is McJeb keeps putting us at a 90-degree horizontal angle at 20 kilometers. And there's no obvious reason why this is happening. And I'm an amateur when it comes to McJeb. Like, this playthrough is my first experience with McJeb. So there's a lot of stuff in McJeb that I don't know or understand how to use. And then the part that's really getting under my skin, by the way, thanks for dropping in. If you guys are dropping in for the very first time, don't forget to hit the thumbs up to save the solar bears. The solar bears are highly affected. They're endangered now. The Kessler syndrome from hundreds and hundreds of new rocket companies just leaving their trash in space has greatly affected their population, and it's just sad. So we are all about saving the solar bears. Deorbit your trash. The only thing I know about the PVG settings is, like, I know how to use coast staging. I know how to use spin up times. I'm not sure about minimum delta V. I don't know what that nonsense is. I know how to use early shutoff stages. I know how to use unguided stages. I don't know pitch rate and start. I'm not sure what that is. I think it's 5 degrees per second. Pitch start at 50 meters per second. Like, I don't know what this means. Alright, so it's doing the same thing. So let's play with some of these numbers and see if we can't fix it. The last stage and early stage. The last stage and early stage. Alright. Early shutoff stage is stage 0. No, we want that to be stage 0, right? Booster pitch start is the speed at your gravity turn begins. The ratio is how quickly it goes horizontal. Alright, so let's do, I don't know, 700 meters per second. Let's see if that does it. I also don't know what Q trigger is. I'm assuming that has to do with max Q. PVG start after stage. After stage. Well, that doesn't matter because it's not clicked. And then QA limit. I don't know what that should be. I really don't know what that should be set at. And the thing is I've never had to know this, because every other time I've ever said, hey, McJeb, take us to orbit, it's always worked. It's always just worked. I set the numbers here. I don't worry about this. Orbital inclination only matters for polar orbits. I've never had to really know any of this. The last stage always says 0. Yeah, the last stage is... I guess I don't understand. 65 meters a second and 0.8. Okay, hold on. Alright, let's try. I'm going to try that. 65 meters per second and 0.8. Meters per second, 65 and 0.8. Engage autopilot. Okay, let's see what she does. Yeah, the last stage we want the early shutoff in stage 0, otherwise McJeb would burn through all the fuel in stage 0 without shutting off. So that just shuts it off in stage 0. And this is the last stage. So the last stage in this rocket is stage 0, and stage 0 is the early shutoff stage. If it still goes horizontal too early, gradually increase the pitch until it sounds... Okay, thank you, Ram. Dude, I appreciate that. Like, it was frustrating me because we've played... I don't know how many hundreds of hours, probably close to 100 hours of RP1. And it's never done this. It's never really messed with me before. I've had a few times where it did, and I smoothed it out somehow. And I don't know what I did, because I have a really bad habit of changing too many things at once. I really have a bad habit of going, oh, it didn't work, let's change everything. So when it fixes itself, it could have been one of any 10 different things that I changed. Also, check the probe core is facing the top of the rocket. I have darted a lot of rockets figuring out that setting out. Dude, I appreciate it. See, like, this is the problem we're having. We're at 20,000, we're almost at 20K, and we're horizontal. Just don't get it. Maybe the rocket's too top heavy. I don't. The problem is I had a theory yesterday or the day before that the rocket was too top heavy, and McJeb can't control it. But that doesn't make any sense, because when we pilot this manually, we can control it just fine. All right, let's try 0.2, and let's try 100 meters per second. Okay. And see, right here, vertical ascent is counting down. I don't know where it's getting this information from. Oh, maybe it's getting it from this. All right. Hold on. Before I already want to see something. I know. I'm so sorry, guys, but I want to see something. What if I change this to around 400 meters per second? because there's no altitude. Because usually you want to do your gravity roll at about 10K or 300 to 400 meters per second. The prod core upside down? No. No, we haven't changed the direction. So the core stage is still exactly the same as from the gesture series. And truthfully, we haven't changed any direction since all the way back in the Ashton series, back in the 1951 series of rockets that we did. This. Maybe something in here's off. Auto stage, force roll at an altitude of 50 meters, that's fine. Keep throttle over 5%, that's fine. Nothing on limit Q, we don't have that selected, so that's irrelevant. Stop auto staging is not selected, it's at 0. Change auto stage thrust, it's not selected. Stage fairings, that's irrelevant because they're on the stage that we need them on. Support hot staging. I took them off to see if it would change anything, Luke. It didn't change anything. I'll put them back on after this. Because I thought maybe having the fairings up here changed the weight dynamic and pushed the center of weight too far forward, or the center of aerodynamics too far. There's so many possibilities that I'm starting to bang my head on the wall. But what I'm thinking is maybe it was this pitch rate. Maybe the pitch rate was set too high. Because it's pitching over a lot slower now, which is what we needed to happen. I'm just so confused as to why in the last 200 to 300 launches that we've done, it's never been an issue, and now it is. That's the part that's boggling me. Is what is different now? I wonder if I did an update. Did I update something into oblivion? Because that can happen. The not knowing is what's driving me crazy. But yeah, the flight angle is looking a lot better now. This is what it should have been doing the whole time. Now, if we lose these boosters and it pitches horizontal, at this point, that's perfectly acceptable because we're above the atmosphere. So pitching horizontal is almost what we want to happen. What? McJeb, why? Why do this to me? Why do this to me? All right. All right. Deep breaths, deep breaths. I think my patience is low because I haven't slept, which is okay. I'm gonna... Contains invalid parts, that's fine. Yes, fine, okay. So the fairing is back now. We lost the side fins. Let's go back to simulate. Maybe we can just solve the problem strictly through playing with McJeb. Alright, so PVG settings. I'm going to turn this up to 0.3 and see if... Alright. Maybe it's because the rocket is so much bigger than all of our old ones. So much bigger and heavier. Maybe that's the key here. Maybe that's what we're missing, because this is significantly heavier than the Gesture. So maybe that significant weight difference is playing a bigger factor in how McJeb flies it. I think the fact that I can't figure it out is what bothers me the most. Maybe. Alright, so we have clean separation on booster set 1. We have about 40, 30... Maybe we lower that to 350. Or maybe leave it. Let's see what... Let's stop making decisions before we see how it plays out. Because I'd really like it to be doing the gravity turn a little bit before this. A little bit worried about how fast that turn's happening. Okay, there you go, McJeb. Thank you. I think I like it back at 0.2. That felt safer. The pitch is at 53.5 degrees. See, now we're pitching over at a comfortable rate. I would even be comfortable with a little bit faster at this altitude. Because I wouldn't mind being somewhere around, I don't know, somewhere around here-ish for this part of the burn. Drop the boosters, McJeb. Thank you. Alright, McJeb didn't blow up the rocket this time. I think we owe Ram a round of applause, because maybe this pitch angle and pitch rate is exactly where we solve whatever problem is happening. I still don't really understand what exactly is causing the problem. So one of the things about me is, not only when I find a problem with anything in life, not only do I strive to find a solution, but I want to understand the problem. I want to know what causes the problem. I want to know how the solution interacts with the problem to resolve it. I'm always asking the why. Why is this happening? What is causing this? Why does the solution work? What makes this solution what I need? Or, you know what I mean? I'm trying to plug everything in together because I want to understand the entire situation, not just, oh yeah, I fixed it by typing in this number. I might increase that pitch rate one more. Maybe. I don't know. I kind of like what it's doing right now. I wouldn't mind it being prograde. I wouldn't mind it being at the prograde vector by this point. But it is pushing the apoapsis up where we're asking it to, so I can't really complain. What stage are we at? We're still at stage 3. The next stage is fairing separation, RCS, and the Viking stage. I love that separation. I love that separation with everything I have. Wait, we missed the... Good golly. Alright, back to editor. Why did McJeb stage all the way through the Viking stage? What is the problem, McJeb? 65 tons. 67 tons. Is that the problem, McJeb? Was that the issue the whole time? Those are the fairings. That's that. Maybe turn that down a little bit. There's no reason, McJeb, that I can see. This is bothering me. I'm a creature of habit. I have to have these in the same spot. What stage are you at there? Alright. Let's go into the PBG settings. Let's put this at 0.4. Let's see if that hurts anything. Alright, now all we can do is let it do its thing for a quick minute. I like the gravity turn at 50, I like the gravity turn, or the gravity roll. That goes nice and smooth. Now, I wonder what determines... So, if the pitch rate determines how fast you're pitched over, right? What determines where it stops and burns? Is it just like... Does it do the calculations and say, hey, this guy wants a periapsis of 400, an apoapsis of 400, so we're going to tip over to 52 degrees at this time, and we're going to hold it? Because I feel like this pitch rate is not 0.4 per second. Which is fine. I wouldn't want it to do that the whole time. Just so many curious questions. Yeah, that's just calculated based on what settings you have. Okay, yeah, that makes sense to me. That's logical. That's logical. I can follow that train of thought pretty easily. Now, the other thing could be, too, is, am I asking too much on one stage? Like, should I move some of these events to the next stage? That's another thing that I've done in the past, to stop McJeb from skipping from stage to stage. And I can't remember if this engine is subject to ullage. I don't remember. Because if it's not subject to ullage, I can just move it up to, like, move this up here so that it activates the staging process, the fairings, and the RCS, and then activates the engine. That's something we can try if this does it again. Believe it or not, even when I'm frustrated, I'm addicted to this. Kerbal SPace Program is one of the games that I have found in my life that can put you on an emotional roller coaster without the need for PvP or like super hard action. It is the most chill game I've ever played that will put you through every single emotion you have, with no need for PvP, with no need for intense hyper action. It gets you on the edge of it gets me on the edge of my seat. I lean forward and I'm sitting here staring at these numbers like, come on baby, go baby, go. And then when something works, like, holy crap, do I get excited. Like, it's like the payoff is an adrenaline rush. And we're only getting a 0.01 to 0.02 deviation in guidance, which is, that's an acceptable margin for me. Ram, I hope you stick around for a couple of streams, because I think the next generation of rocket needs to be named after you. So if you're brand new to the stream, the way we name our rockets is if you're a subscriber and you're chatting and you're showing up, eventually you will get a rocket system named after you, or you get to control it. So I forget who even named this one now. I'm drawing a blank. Okay, yeah, see, that one went fine. It's kind of curious that it's not using the RCS to force roll. My OCD hates this. I like having it rolled to 0. But I'm not messing with it. If it's working, it is working. I kind of like that profile, though. That is pretty cool. Now, for those of you guys that don't know, this entire mission is to put this payload in orbit around the moon. What we're trying to do is finish this contract right here, which is basically... Oh no, I forgot. We reloaded. We reloaded. I might go back through and reload that first save file now that I understand. I wonder what is that, just like an exhaust port? Is this the Viking? No, this is the H1. Okay. I forgot we ditched the Viking. This is the G1, that's the H1. The Viking, so during the Gesture series of rockets, this stage was powered by a Viking 2. That's why I kept saying the Viking stage. This isn't the Viking stage, this is the H1 stage. I need to double check the avionics in that stage then. I was just curious to know. I've never messed with any of these either. So many things. Almost 100 hours in RP1, and there's still a mountain of things that I haven't touched, played with, or understood yet. What is this? Engine groups. Okay, that makes sense. Okay. What is this? Oh, that's Firefly. I love the Firefly mod. Okay. That's cool. I like Firefly is one of my favorite mods. Alright, yep, that means... So, in the early stages, what I did is I was like, okay, the Ashton series, I want to say that was Laser. I think Laser, he's not here right now, but he's a regular that comes in. And I think he's the one, I want to say he's the one that named the Ashton series. And then one of my UK buddies designed. So what you get is you get to name the rocket system, you get to pick the color scheme, and you can pick whatever you want, flags, anything like that, and we'll put it all together for you, and it'll get sorted through the missions that it's designed to do. It's the only perk I can really give you. Until we hit 500 500 subscribers and we unlock subscriber benefits, which, by the way, we're almost halfway there. All thanks to you guys. It's 100% on you. Okay, so there's no reason to continue. Wait. Hold on. Before I do that, I want to make sure. Yes, this is a procedural service module. The reason we went with a service module on this stage is because of the liquid fluorine fuel source in this engine is a cryogenic fuel And that means we learned during the Gesture series of rockets, because the Gesture used a high-pressure aluminum gridded tank for this stage. But solar radiation heated the tank up and boiled our liquid fluorine, and it dramatically decreased the range that we had on this stage. So we learned from that mistake. All right, so let's revert to editor. That is exactly what needs to happen. So let's do this. Now that we understand more, let's come on. Let's load. Let's load this one. This one should be right before we pushed out to launch. So integration, construction. Okay, so let's time warp to the finishing of the Fago LC. And then the plans is the Yephone Mark 1 pushed into integration. That looks intimidating, but... Oh, wait, no, I need this one. So I'm going to take all of our engineers out of the LCXL and transfer them to the Fago LC. And that puts it in the summer of '64. We have a quick save, so... Whoops, I'm pushing buttons. All right, we're not going to do no more because this is already going to mess with our budget really bad. So we're going to time warp past all these battery warnings, which I can probably go shut down some of those satellites because I don't think that they're actually still transmitting science. I think they've transmitted and I think they have collected and transmitted all the science that they're going to. So we could probably decommission most of them and replace them with better science. I think it was Tweaky that named it. Yeah, Tweaky named it the Yephone. I think that... Ugh, it melts my brain to think about these things. All right. So, the Yephone... The Yvonne, PVG settings. Okay, so it did save our settings. We should be safe to engage autopilot. That all looks good, mateys. All right. Let's see if we fix this. And the reason that our launch complexes have started to be named after companies is because I'm a firm believer that space travel should be treated just as important as professional sports. And all of these companies that are, and NASA included, that are doing launches and, you know, putting things into orbit all the time are missing a huge opportunity by selling ad space to companies. Could you imagine watching a Starlink, or I mean a Starlink, yes, a Starship launch, and you hear this, the Starship is being transferred to the launch pad, to the subway launch pad by the Mountain Dew transfer vehicle. It was constructed in the Pizza Hut vehicle assembly building and is sponsored by Taco Bell. And I think we could probably lower that meters per second from 400 to about 350. Because I wouldn't mind starting the gravity turn a little bit closer to that stage separation. But I'm not going to mess with what works. Now, for this save file, this is the contract that we're really trying to complete. It is a lunar orbit contract. It's our first lunar orbiter. And we packed our lunar orbiter with a whole bunch of science, which I don't remember if I ever readjusted that. Oh my goodness, I may have messed that up. Come on, don't do this to me. Come on, my precious. Okay, nope. We didn't. That's okay. We're still going to get a good amount of science for these experiments. There's still a lot of science around the moon to collect. So that's not the end of the world. We're still going to get quite a bit of it. We should get another 20 to 50 science from this experiment pack. Yeah, yep, definitely. Rami is going to be getting a rocket system named after him, because that just saved our bacon. I don't know if I would have figured that out anytime soon on my own. All right, now the main event for this. I want to see that cross. This is my favorite part of this rocket. When this runs out and this stage separates, it's such just a beautiful spread. It is amazing. And we do have a couple of in the next program, we do have contracts to put these experiments into different orbits around Earth. So I'm hoping to get a polar orbit. Why do I like polar orbits so much, especially when we traveled north for a northerly polar orbit? It's because I get to fly over my house. It's really fun. And I love the fact that this is pitch black. We are traveling boldly into the darkness. Leaving the light behind us. One minute, 6 seconds left on this stage. All functions are nominal. We still have 1.13 hours for the mean time between failures. I really do like this engine setup. I like the E1. The E1 is a nice engine. Concentration time. 40 seconds, Luke. 40 seconds. Fifteen seconds. This engine is massively powerful. Love it. Love everything about it. That is such a cool... That is so cool. That is awesome. Now we are back on the H1. I need to make sure we have enough electricity to get through the dark side. We should. We should be charging right now. We are burning RCS for some reason. Why is RCS being burnt at this time? We have engine gimbal. Oh, it's struggling. Okay, it's trying to control the roll is what it's doing. That's fine. We can let it roll for now. I'm not going to burn up all our nitrous trying to stop the roll. I don't think the roll actually hurts us with McJeb in control. If we were controlling this manually, that roll would be catastrophic. But with McJeb in charge, I'm not even sure why it's rolling, truthfully. As far as I know, this craft is balanced. I wonder what causes that. Might be something to investigate. We got 17 seconds left on the H1. We do got to fix that avionics. I mean, it's only insufficient for a second, so I think something like 0.1 ton. Please don't burn up all of your nitrous oxide. I don't mind you using it. I don't mind you using it. But don't burn it all, please. And if you notice, we're keeping full communications with this configuration. Is the next gen rocket also going to be used for moon work? Yes. The next gen rocket is supposed to be our Redstone. It is going to be the manned flight. We're going to shove a Kerbal in a can and shoot it somewhere. So what I would like to happen is the next gen rocket system should be step 1, manned orbit. Step 2 on the second mission, if everything goes right on the first mission, because the first mission's kind of going to be a shakedown, because I've never messed with life support configurations, food, water, waste. I have to learn how to configure all of that. So we're gonna get as close as we possibly can in simulation, and then we're gonna knock out the first crewed flight, first crewed space flight, first Kerbal over the Kármán line, suborbital flight. We have to test out the heat shield too, because we own the strongest heat shield we have is the Redstone heat shield, and I'm not sure how much stress we can really put on that. So the first flight is going to be try to get into orbit and deorbit and test out that, just to get a feel for that that heat shield and the life support system. The second mission on that, I'm going to push the periaps or the apoapsis and maybe do a flyby of the Mun, because what I also want to find out is, can the Redstone heat shield survive re-entry from Mun or the moon altitude, the lunar altitudes, from a moon lunar return. That's something we're going to have to find out. I need to know how much of life support we're going to need for all of the mission profiles, how fast it gets consumed. Anti-gravity inside the vehicle and cause a magnetic shield around the craft. Anti-gravity inside the vehicle. I don't know if we have that technology in the 1964. Although, one more year and we have to go to a high school somewhere in California, I think, because I would like to see Marty McFly try to bang his mom. Alright, guidance is complete. We have more than enough delta V to achieve a translunar injection. So let's start, oops, wrong button. Let's start that process. Set as target. We need Old McJeb. Old McJeb had a farm. Rendezvous planner. Now we can shut that down. Home and transfer planner. And focus view. That is going to cost us $31.15. So we will be left with around 800-ish meters per second. Estimated. Now my question is why are we getting... And can I fix it? Now, when we do our manned flight, I would also like to try and learn how to set up... Well, that's technically a free return trajectory, right? By definition? Because if we just didn't do anything, it would go by the moon, and we would come back to Earth. We would just have to do a retro burn at the apoapsis. Science. We are getting science from the magnetic scan. How about Pegasus? I like it. Hello, Terrence. Welcome to the stream. You are just in time for a lunar transfer. We have a small satellite package packed with a whole bunch of goody gooey science that we are going to attempt and succeed in putting in a lunar orbit. If you're not familiar, we are playing Kerbal SPace Program, the RP1 mod pack with real solar system and realism overhaul. So what that does is it takes the Kerbal SPace Program you may know and love, and it turns it into our solar system. So we have Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars. We have all of our family present, and we are at the very beginning of our lunar operations program. Actually, we're at the tail end of this particular lunar operation program. We are it is currently 1964. So 1964, and we are setting up our first lunar satellite. Fancy, huh? We have had a little bit of struggles learning how to fix our autopilot program, which our autopilot program is another mod that comes with the RP1 mod pack called MechJeb, because I'm not smart enough to use the complicated one called Kerbal Operating System. Fun times, right? If this is your first time here and you find anything that you might like, make sure you hit the thumbs up button. All hail Ram! All hail Ram! Oh Ram, can you see by the dawn's early light? Ramacade. Thank you for subscribing. I do appreciate it, homie. And we have a lot of RP1 left to go. We are somewhere around 70 to 100 hours in RP1. And we have not made it far. RP1 is a much more steep and dangerous learning curve than regular Kerbal Space Program. And if you don't know, the space program that we are operating is not actually called NASA. It's called ASSES. The Apollo's Aeronautics Science and Space Exploration Systems. ASSES. So welcome to the ASSES family. We spent our first 430-ish hours on Kerbal Space Program on the PlayStation 5. We bought ourselves a PC, and now we're pushing around a little over 500 hours, I think. I think we're at like 500 and some odd change. I'd have to check. Actually, while we're doing this burn, I can give you an exact library. Kerbal Space Program. So that's, yeah. Oh wow, we're at 550, 570-ish, somewhere between 550 and 570 hours of total KSP experience. And if you guys want to take note that even while we're running science, avionics, and communication, we are still perpetual electricity, which means that we are generating more electricity than we're using, which is super fantastic. And if you find anything you actually like and want to stick around for, make sure you hit the thumbs up button and the subscribe button. We are on the road to 500 subscribers, and we are almost halfway there. If you want, you can check out the playlist. Kerbal is not the only thing we play, actually. We sometimes play other stuff. So you can peruse the playlist and see if anything might spark your interest. And we are typically live every Saturday and Sunday. And I've kind of been sprinkling in some surprise lives during the week lately. Although I don't know if I'm going to make too much of a habit about that. We're going to see. My wife is really pushing to make Monday morning and Tuesday morning. She wants me to either do Twitch or TikTok live or both. So I'm working on getting that started. So Monday and Tuesday morning might be Twitch and TikTok live respectively. But Saturdays and Sundays right now are for you guys on YouTube only. Because you have to have some kind of perks and benefits to being a subscriber. And I do realize that this is a ridiculously long burn. Which is why I'm curious. I don't think this engine is going to be very useful for our Redstone vehicle or our Saturn V later. Oh, dude, so what happened is years ago, I was looking for Space Flight Simulator. I used to play Space Flight Simulator when I was a teenager before they charged for everything, before it became a mobile app. And then I wanted to show it to my kids, so I was looking for it, and I couldn't figure out how to do the transfers effectively, so I YouTubed it, and I found Matt Lown on KSP. And I became fascinated with KSP because this game is everything I've always wanted from like a space flight building game and stuff like that. So I bought it on the PS5 and I had a blast. Now the PS5 is super duper limited on what you can actually do, but after 440 hours, I paid $20 for the game and the expansion packs, and I played it for 440 hours. And then as soon as I got a PC, the very first thing I did was buy KSP with all three of the DLCs, because I got Breaking Grounds. I bought the anniversary, I think it was the anniversary collection or the complete collection, so I got all of the DLCs, all three of the DLCs. Because I think it's Breaking Grounds, the History and Parts pack, and, or maybe it was only two. Now I'm second guessing myself, but I got the whole game. And then I played it for like 10 hours. No, it wasn't even that. I played it, the very first stream, somebody came in and taught me how to use CCAN. So I modded it up with visual mods. And the very next thing I did was download RP1. And I got the I got the RP1 install instructions by watching Mike Aben. So if you're not familiar with Matt Lown or Mike Aben, highly, highly recommend you check them out. Come on, Kerbal, thank you. All right, so let's tighten up this orbit just a little tiny itty bitty bit. So what I want to do is come in here and just start playing with numbers and see what happens. Okay. Now, can I tighten it up a tiny bit? I'm not clicking that many times. That's much better. Whoa. Little much. I want to get about 20K. 30K is fine. I like 30K. Alright, so one of the things, yeah, we're still getting magnetic scan science. It's not transmitting all that fast, but we are also not gathering it all that fast. Maybe we need to put a magnetic scan satellite, a dedicated mag scan satellite in orbit. Maybe, probably, because we need all of the science. So let's execute this node. Also, check out his Discord. There's some very cool stuff, including pictures of current... Yes, the Discord is getting... we're growing more and more on the Discord. So if you are interested, come on the Discord. We do have self-promotion. If you do any content, you can post on the dedicated pages. We do get good pictures of current launches and up-to-date information on them. Let's see, what else do we do? That's about it. That's about it right now. Now, I'd like to see McJeb do this on just the RCS alone. We could easily do 13 meters per second on RCS. If not, should be okay. Because I don't think it took a whole lot of delta V to circularize. Okay. Alright, so now let's set up our circularize maneuver, which is pretty easy. Just a whole bunch of braking power. So what does that put us at? 281, 99 by 22. So does that satisfy the contract, I wonder? Oh. Apoapsis below, periapsis above. I do believe that would satisfy the contract. So, F5, just for Luke. And let's execute that next node. Let's go keep an eye on our liquid fluorine. Alright, hold on. That's gonna... I'm so sorry for this, guys. What is that? I've never seen that before. Is that something to do with the communications? Actually, you know what we could do? Can I turn you off? Alright, hold on. Where's our quick save? I think this is it. So that was a terrible idea. We're not going to use the rendezvous planner to execute the node. What we are going to do is use our smartass system and a little bit of custom time warping. So now that we're locked onto the node, where's the sun? So let's see. Also check out the Discord. Yep, I'm just making sure I was caught up with chat. I don't like feeling like I don't want you guys to feel like I'm ignoring you. All right. All right. So we're gonna turn that off. Alright, so what that did is it put our solar panels towards the sun, our big solar panels, which makes sure we're not going to run out of electricity again. So now let's see if we can time warp. It's not a pretty travel path, but it's an effective one. Alright, now I wanted to stop early to make sure that we get to our maneuver node. And don't worry about this just yet. I know it looks bad, and it does. But what we can do is retract some of these antennas to reduce our power consumption. Now that we are locked on the maneuver node, we can put the avionics into hibernation. That buys us more time. And the other thing that's on my to-do list is learn how to use custom action groups on PC. Now, we coast all the way up to our maneuver burn. Now, we have 10 minutes until the maneuver, so let's wake our antennas back up. How do you do? I'm gonna have to Google it. I don't even know how to bring up the action groups menu on a PC. Is it this button? No. Let's not push buttons. I'm not gonna start pushing some buttons. Alright, so now we have to get ready to wake up the avionics package. I really wish it told me the burn time, so I know when to start the burn. Let's start at around 2 minutes, I guess. We have engine startup, but we do have loss of thrust. Loss of thrust. That is not a great sign, but as long as it burns, oh, that's nerve-wracking. The thrust-to-weight ratio seems okay, though. We do have a loss of thrust. engine is now out of propellants. Also, the action group menu is in the VAB in your base. Yeah, but you can get into the action group somehow. At least you could on console. Well, we might have an overall mission failure, which is okay because we are going to gather some science off of this. And we did get engine data, so... Where's the sun? Okay, maybe we won't get science out of this. See, every time I think I should reverse these, because at first they were facing forwards, now they're facing backwards. Now I feel like they should be facing forwards, but I guess it's situational. What if I can't shut anything down without signal, huh? Alright. We're going to leave this here. What time is it? 12:41? I don't know why I came to the tracking station. Probably because I was going to disable old satellites, but I didn't. I'm a horrible space setter. All right. I would like to maybe make improvements, but I'm not sure which improvements would even much matter. We did gather quite a bit of science, so let's see. I really want the zinc. Oh, I thought I saw zinc somewhere. wouldn't mind having more batteries. Let's just not even think about it. We'll do that. We get the Gemini capsule. Oh, that would be nice to have a better heat shield. I wouldn't mind getting one step closer to our F1 engine. Decisions. I think we save the 44 that we have. Oh, you're tempting me. All right. You tempted me. You tempted me enough. Okay. All right. We didn't fulfill the contract. Pooey. I almost want to just finish that contract, this program out. But I think, all right, early Earth observational satellites. All these are easy. The problem is we could do all these in one damn launch, but it won't let us. What's this one? Early commercial applications. Okay, this is worth a good amount. Let's see what we have coming up here. Our world. A bunch of telecommunications. What about this one? More telecommunications. When do we get... This is where I want to be. This is the contract. This is what I want. Then we can crew to orbit. This is the next... Yeah, this is what we really need. And look at the funding. Ugh. You know what? I'm doing it. What is this contract worth? I think we can do this fast. Because I'd really love to be able to do all these in like 2 launches, or even we could do most of this in 1 launch if it let us, but it's not going to let us. All right. There we go. We got some new funding and some new missions to do. Do I dare? You know what? I dared. I dared. What if I do this at normal speed? All right. Now we're entering a whole new era of contracts, gentlemen. So we have some stuff going on. Hold on. For the year. Yeah, that's the funding I needed to see. That is exactly where we want to be. Alright, so... Alright, let's see what the... Survive in orbit for 7 days, easy. Craft must have electric charge after 7 days, easy. Craft must orbit requirements, Earth. Keep the apoapsis below 1,000,000 meters and the periapsis above 5K, or 500K, easy. The ecocentricity is going to be a tricky one to get, but I think it'd be fine if we do a 500 by 500 orbit. So I think this needs to be a polar orbit. So it needs a video and infrared. Send it to a polar orbit, it'll get all of this. All right, let's do that. Early TV camera. Between this and any other launches, you must transmit 75% of cosmic ray science. Okay. I think we can do all of this. Experimental transatlantic television. Earth stations with cutting-edge antennas have been built at Andover. Okay, okay. This experiment transatlantic transmissions are mutually exclusive. While you must provide support for both westward and eastward television broadcasts, your satellite does not need to have capacity for those to happen at the same time. I'm not sure what that means. Provide transatlantic television for 3 months with 1% availability. Open the Scopus window to view the current connection status. Okay. All right. We'll accept it. Holy Jesus. What did I get myself into on this one? And this is the crude orbit. So we are going to have to work on some kind of crude orbiter. What did I get myself into? What did you guys let me do here? All right. I guess first things first. First things first, let's do this again. We don't need to make any special modifications here. Actually, we do. You almost let me forget, but I remembered. I member buried. Alright, so we're going to open up our impressive list of machines now. And we need to readjust. So this is 15.1 tons. What is this rated for? Oh, of course. Of course. Do we have upgrades? We do not have upgrades. That's okay. Let's double check our communications is upgraded right. Battery. Okay, we don't have that yet. We do have more tech level there, so that's a plus. Okay, so we did get a little bit of an upgrade on it. That's nice. Oh wait, do we have engine upgrades? No, no we do not. Okay. Alright, so what do we have here? 65 tons and no upgrades there. But we have an no? Where did we get that upgrade at then? Was it communication? Which one was it? Interesting. Oh yeah, it was a communications upgrade. I guess that doesn't matter in that stage. Not really. Alright, no upgrades here. And we'll just upgrade the communications because why not? I think it makes it lighter too, so that's a plus. Do we have any engine upgrades? We do not. And oh man, we need a new... Hold on a second. This is embarrassing. This is mildly embarrassing. We need a much more suitable launch pad. That's much better. That's too little. I like this one better though. Alright. I don't know what that does. I'm not sure what that does. I kind of like that. Kind of like that. don't think that connects together. That definitely doesn't connect together. Oh, no. Okay. Is this like the wrong direction? I think this is the wrong direction. Nope, still the wrong direction. This way? What if I got rid of this? I'm gonna look into how to do this. We got a better base. Oh, let's see. We got a better base. That's what matters. So let's save that. Why do I have yellow staff? Is it because I have no research? No, I have research. Why do I have yellow staff? I'm not sure. Let's do an integration. All right. Oh, it's because the engineers were idle. That explains that. When is that going to be done? 1964, 1964, 9/18, January, February, March, April, May, June. You know what I'm going to do? So 223, so let's hire one more 100. 1520. All right. That maxes that out. Research is doing good. All right, roll out. Oh, we get a nice, really good morning launch. All right. This is going to be the last launch of this stream. We will be back tomorrow. Terrence, I think I said hi to you. I want to believe I did. I think I gave you the whole spiel. The welcoming speech, if you will. Ascent guidance. All right. This time, we're going to go for a 3x3. 3x3 PVG settings. I want to do this at like 370-ish. I know it's dangerous to change this now, but so be it. Wait a minute. I forgot to do something. Nobody noticed. Nobody noticed. Ah, shit. No. We don't want to do F5 yet. That's fine. You know what? It's fine. We're just going to do it this configuration. No, what I forgot to do is I forgot to update the changes I made and put it into the plans. So the communication technology that we upgraded isn't in this version because I forgot to put it in the plans. I forgot to put it in the plans. That'd be okay though. All right. So far, so good. I like the flight pattern. Engines are nominal. Thrust is good. We are in the pipe. 5x5. So what you guys want to talk about? Now, can I change the PVG settings mid-flight? Let's do 0.6. Does that hurt it? I don't think it changes anything. I don't think it updates. Not sure. What's the current mission? Same one, Luke. We weren't able to finish the other mission. I accidentally let the batteries die on our previous mission. So I'm hoping this one I can be a little bit smarter about the battery usage. But we do have a boatload of other side missions to do now. So we are going to be pretty busy. But with that boatload of other stuff to do, we did net ourselves a load of new funding. I think we're net positive 700,000 before I hired those new engineers. So we're cooking with fire now. What is the purpose of a rubber duck? To quack, quack, rubber duck. Probably to help your car fly. I don't know. My bathroom is filled with rubber ducks thanks to my wife and kids. All different kinds of rubber ducks. We have devil ducks, we have emo ducks, punk rocker ducks, trucker ducks, Donald ducks, Darkwing ducks. My bathtub is filled with rubber ducks. The joys of children. Solid answer. It took me like 0.5 seconds to put that reference together. It took me longer than it should have. But I'm also operating on minimal sleep, so I mean, I kind of have an excuse. Not really, but I'm not willing to turn in my nerd card just yet. Love that separation from every angle. Doobie doop boop boo boop. I know I could probably time warp some of this time away, but past experiences have taught me that time warping during a launch can be extraordinarily catastrophic to the cause. Just watching that periapsis climb, baby, climb. That's just unfortunately how it goes. Gross. Not the way I wanted to end the stream. Drats. Alright, guys. Not the way I wanted to end off, but unfortunately, I'm getting a migraine. I need to sleep. We'll save it here. If you guys had a good time, make sure you come back in tomorrow morning at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm not sure if we're going to play Kerbal or Subnautica, because the individual that requested Subnautica hasn't been coming in. So we might just jump right back into some Kerbal tomorrow and nail out these contracts. Yeah, do it on the next one. Let the Kerbals do all the work. I like that idea. But I appreciate everybody for coming in. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys tomorrow. See you on the flip side. Bye-bye.